Listen,
I'm Steve Young. You're watching the Letterman Podcast.
It's the Letterman Podcast. It's better than all those podcasts about those other men. Let the fun begin.
welcome once again to the Letterman Podcast. My name is Mike Chisholm. All right, it's been a long time, and I apologize. Every once in a while, we all got stuff going on personally that perhaps causes us to direct our attention to some of the things that are a little bit closer to home. I've been going through that a little bit, family stuff. I appreciate people who have reached out. Thank you so much. I think we're going to remix how we do things a little bit here for a little while. I think we're going to go kind of a season kind of a format, the way that other podcasts do. We'll release 6 or 7 in a row, maybe, and then have a little break, and then another season of, the first couple of years, we were really good at putting out more than one a week, and I was very proud of that, how much content we delivered in the first couple of years. Now, until things sort of settle down a little bit, this is what it's going to look like, but we're not done, not by a country mile. Got all sorts of people who are coming back on the show, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So the reason that this show exists today, personally, the order of shows that are going to come out, the reason we're starting with this one is because David Letterman recently came to Vancouver, British Columbia. And it was a phenomenal experience for those of us who were lucky enough to be in attendance. 2,800 seats at the beautiful Queen Elizabeth Theatre in the heart of downtown Vancouver. Sold out in 4 minutes. Just Vancouver. So happy to see Dave. Now, that's a stone's throw away from where I live. I spent my life going from my city that I live in, Kelowna, down to Vancouver for concerts and things like that. I would, constantly hockey games whenever the LA Kings were in town. I would go see them when they played in Vancouver. And Vancouver is the second home to me. I adore it there. And when the announcement that Dave was going to come to Vancouver and have a one-on-one conversation with Zach Galifianakis, I was just like an insta call. Absolutely, got to get there, got to make it happen. It was a phenomenal experience, but then some cool alchemy happened. The people who enjoy this show, we decided to kind of get together. And one of the things I love about this show, of course, we have people who worked for the show, for David Letterman's productions. Those are guests on our show. People who were featured on the show, those were guests. But the third element was always and has always been a priority, is that we have the community. People who are part of the community of folks who were on the other side of the fourth wall that Dave happily shattered. Would be potential guests for the show as well, because we wanted to build a community. Letterman fans are scattered, or enthusiasts are scattered all over the continent. Well, let's find a way to organize and bring us all together if we can, and see what kind of fun that we can have. Well, that's what happened here. A few people who enjoy this show, gathered. We reached out, we communicated, we got together. Well, 5 of us got together downtown in Vancouver before the show, and we met David Letterman, and it was an amazing experience. So here, this episode of the Letterman Podcast, of 2 of the 5, or 3 of the 5, I guess if you include me, are going to talk a little bit about the other 2. Paul, James, shout outs. We love you. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Anything that you want to add into the comments below, whether it's on the Facebook in the group or wherever, please do. But Rob Stover and Len Goldman, or Lenny Bruce as he goes by, which is his first and his middle name. He goes by Lenny Bruce these days. His mom and dad named him after Lenny Bruce, which is amazing. His first 2 given names. And they came on here and to talk about what we experienced when we met Dave, but also to crystallize the memories of this one-of-one shows that we got a chance to see. They don't record this show. These live shows that Dave does, whether, here in Vancouver, down in Los Angeles, he does them, and he does them in New York sometimes, where he'll bring a guest on and they'll do a one-on-one. These shows are not recorded. And there are reasons for that, obviously. Dave's got a phenomenal franchise, legacy franchise that has been built in Netflix, or being built in Netflix with my next guest. The last thing that, they would ever want to do is start putting out other stuff that would put that into a place where it's not a unique presentation. And I totally understand that. That makes a lot of sense. That being said, it is hard knowing that there is David Letterman content and shows that are out there that we can't just go and access. And so I would just highly recommend, if you ever have the opportunity to go see Dave live, go see him live, whatever that looks like. The show with Zach was unbelievable. The three of us wax philosophical. We talk all about it. We talk about when we met Dave. We talk about the show itself, and it was just a really, really beautiful experience. So I hope you enjoy our dipping of the toe, the foray back into releasing new episodes here. This is our first new one in a long time. And I couldn't be happier to have Len and Rob on. Please enjoy this episode of the Letterman Podcast. Okay, boys. All right. Right now, we are about to see the results of emotional management. That's what we're going to do right now. We're talking to three Canadians who were, by the way, welcome back, both of you, Rob and Len. Welcome back to the Letterman Podcast. You've both been on the show before. We have talked about how the community aspect of the Letterman Podcast, paramount from the start, is a huge part of what it is that we're trying to accomplish, whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish with the show. The community part is a huge part of it. And you both were on the show years ago, and then here we go. Dave comes to Vancouver. We have a chance to see each other, meet in person. At the time of the recording, full disclosure, we're all three Canadian. Canada just got the defeat that none of us ever want to have. The United States has beaten us for the gold medal mere hours ago. Our energy levels are low. That being said, coming into the game here, our energy levels were very different than they were because of the week we had. I want to say this, Len, Rob, welcome back to the Letterman Podcast. And hey, boys, how was your week?
Not too shabby.
Surreal. And thank you for having me back. This is a joy. This whole community that you've created is a joy.
Well, it's not me, it's we. I just kind of opened the doors and see if people would come in, and hey, it turns out people do come in. It's pretty great. It was amazing to meet you both in person. Like, Rob, the moment I saw you, it was like, oh my God, just jumped, huge hug, and it's just like brothers from another mother. What a really cool thing. Hey, David Letterman brings people together, doesn't he, boys?
Yeah, it's a common purpose. Our life purpose that brought us together.
Rob, you there, right?
I'm here, man.
Rob's still traumatized from the game.
I forgot the game was on. I didn't even know. Was that today? Yeah. Okay. All right.
We're all traumatized. Okay, but before we get into the Letterman of it all, well, let's talk about this here. The moment, though, after the game, after the medals and all that stuff, the U.S. team in the middle of the ice, ready to take their team picture, and then they stop it. They stop it because a couple of the members of the team then go off away from the group, and they come back with Johnny Gaudreau's hockey jersey and his kids, and brings the kids in. It's Johnny Jr.'s birthday today. Johnny Gaudreau, of course, tragically passed away. Johnny Hockey, right? And to me, when I saw that, I was like, oh, if there's something kind of bigger happening with the alchemy of all this stuff, to me, that was a moment that transcends the sport, and it made me extremely sentimental. I don't know about you guys with that moment or not, but to me, that was an insane thing, and I would just like to say congratulations to the Americans. It was one of the best hockey games I've ever watched. Right up until about a second before it ended, it was one of the greatest hockey games I've ever watched. But even despite the outcome, it was awesome, and I just want to say congratulations to them. So I don't know if you guys have anything else to say about the game, or if we're just going to do an experiment here to see if talking about a few days ago will change our energy from where it started to where we finished. That's interesting. Any other notes on the game, boys?
I mean, the tribute to Johnny Gaudreau, it put everything in perspective in terms of what matters.
Yeah.
And even apart from that, yeah, I was sad initially, and then I don't know, something happened, and I guess this has been my general path recently. Is that, you know what? This is about nations coming together. This is about the magnificence of sports. This is about entertainment. This was the greatest show on earth. I'm proud of all of them, and it should be a celebration. It shouldn't be, we're heartbroken as a nation. No, it should be, that was 3 of the greatest hours of entertainment I've had in a very long time. Good on you. So and I really believe that. I'm not trying to convince myself of something. I really felt that afterwards, and I just feel happy that that happened.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. You can't deny that. I mean, it burst so much. At one point, I thought I saw 6 U.S. players on the ice. Like that's how expanded the whole thing went. So
Yeah, I agree. It was a phenomenal Olympics. The ups and downs, the drama of the Team Canada games, the two Team Canada games prior to this, coming back, you know, and in this game too, 1-0, and then we came back, went to the overtime, and it was the next goal win situation, and we just came up short. And I mean, the American goaltending was unbelievable. I mean, miracle save after miracle save. That one stick save that Hellebuck made was absolutely amazing. So yeah, congratulations to our American friends. It almost feels like it's a little bit of a tit for tat, because when we did see Dave this week, there was a lot of Canadiana in that show as well, and I thought that was spectacular. We're going to get to all of that, but before we do, I just want to say, guys, this week is a week that I'm never going to forget. I want to shout out before we even get going here. I want to shout out to James, who was with us as well, and to Paul, who was with us as well. We call ourselves loosely the 5-man Wolfpack after this week. Seeing Zach and David Letterman have a conversation with Zach Galifianakis and Paul Shaffer and all of that stuff. We're going to talk about all of this stuff. But I want to give them a shout out and say I'm sorry they couldn't be here today. But when we post this thing, if they want to post any pictures and other thoughts as to what happened this week, so shout out to those guys there. Let's talk a little bit about the anticipation versus the execution. A month ago, it was announced that David Letterman is going to be coming to the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival in Vancouver, British Columbia, and that when he did, he was going to be having a conversation with Zach Galifianakis at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre. And I mean, 2,800 seats sold out in 4 minutes. You know, we knew it was going to be a hot ticket. And Rob, it's your hometown. I'm from Kelowna, which is, you know, a 4-hour drive. That wasn't that bad. Len, you're in Toronto. For when the tickets went on sale, when the announcement was made, it was an insta call for both of you, right?
pretty much, yeah. I mean, what are the chances that, you know, he's going to be in my city? Like, come on. You know, it also go back to like when he retired. It's like, is Dave going to be a hermit? Is he going to be Johnny Carson? We'll never see him again. And now he's, you know, he's doing festivals and all this, and first time in, well, speak to the history, first time in Canada in how many years? Not
48 years. 48 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty crazy. So yeah, that was one of those. Okay, there's some kismet thing happening here already.
Sure felt that way. How about you, Len?
I mean, you never know. Is this going to be Dave's last time doing these sorts of things? Will it be his only time in Canada since he was here in Toronto in 1978?
Yep.
CBC. So it was a no-brainer for me to buy the ticket. At that point, I was actually about 90% that I would go through with it and fly to Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
On the day of, it just became a no-brainer. Like, it's just it's 4 hours and 18 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it was a no-brainer, and I had the no expectations. I always enter with the no expectations, and it certainly exceeded that.
Okay, so let's go to that right away. You know, because we started a little bit somber, and it's like, okay, talk about the hockey game and all that. Then you talk about expectations. All right, after the show, if we're going, okay, here were my expectations before the show. Now, after the show, did it meet? Did it exceed? Did it not quite live up to? What say both of you?
Well, you're kind of getting into what happened. I don't know if you want to tell.
we're going to go through the whole show, but I want to get to the end of the story as to, was it worth it? Did it meet your expectations or not? I just want to get to that, like that feeling after the show.
Yeah, for me, it was a full circle moment of just, you know, Dave's presence as an entertainer and comedic kind of guiding person in my life and stuff. And as I say, just how this happened on my home turf. I wasn't heading to New York City here 3 time zones away. It was pretty special. So yeah, I mean, I told you guys this after we had our moment. The show could have been canceled right then, and we were like, "Oh, the show's canceled." It was a success already because we had this fantastic experience, brief but just super memorable for all the right reasons. So yeah.
Absolutely. How about you, Len?
I mean, there's no way that the show couldn't have met my expectations, in my opinion, because Dave is 100% consistent. Just
Sure.
his presence
Yep.
was going to be satisfying. And then it exceeded my expectations because I was under the impression it was going to be an interview and that's it. But Dave curated this whole comedy preamble with visuals, a biography of his life and his journey. And that I had no idea that was coming. And for me, that was actually the highlight of the show. And it was transcendent.
Transcendent. That seems to, if we're talking about expectations, the word using the T word to me, that's that exceeds. And for me, it was that as well. Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, if he just would have come out with no bells, no whistles, 2 chairs on the stage, come out, warm the audience up a little bit, and then bring Zach out and have a conversation with him, that would have been fantastic. I totally agree. That is not what we got. What we got was a show that was absolutely, I love that word, curated for the time, for the place, for the audience. I think that it was a Grand Slam home run. When you look at that, like you said, Lynn, last time he performed was in Canada, was back in '78 for that talk show. I forget the name of the talk show in Toronto that they ran out of there. Was it CBC Today or something like that? It was a talk show that he was on. And then before that, a couple years earlier, one of Dave's, I believe it might have been, like, obviously Dave's been a broadcaster, since he was a kid, since he was in college, he's been a broadcaster. But one of his first appearances as a comic on another show was a Canadian show. It might have been his very first one, and it was Celebrity Chef with our boy. Bruno Gerussi right there. There he is. And that was obviously shot in Vancouver. Bruno Gerussi, famously, Nick from the Beachcombers, a Canadian classic that many people wouldn't necessarily know. He was a big star in Canada, so much so that he actually had a cooking show on, I believe it was BCTV. And that was one of Dave's first appearances, and they showed a clip from it at our show. I thought that was really, really cool that they would go back to that. But let's go to our moment. Let's do that because we got a really cool surprise after we met Dave. We all decided that we were going to go and come down to the show early and hang out by the stage door. Was that a no-brainer for both of you? Was that just this is what we want to do, or was there any trepidation in doing that?
I think for me, it seemed to, even though you have absolutely no idea in the hours before the show's going to happen, is he already in the theater? Is he coming in a different entrance? But just experience with other shows and knowing that it's a complete coin toss whether the entertainer is going to come out or zip in a car and drive away. And honestly, it's because of you guys, knowing that there was a bunch of us going. I bought tickets for me and my wife. My wife's like, Rob, I'm not waiting around. Like, even after the show, I'll go have a drink. You can stand in the cold because it was a cold day. After the show, and if you happen to see him, great. If not, meet me after while I'm, enjoying my tasty beverage. So knowing you were there and you said, other folks are going to be there, it's like, okay, it's going to be the community going there. And sure enough, like, I got there like about an hour before you guys. So I'm sitting there going, looking for any kind of hint of, the door would open. I'd be like, hey, that's just somebody bringing the drinks or something for the bar and everything. But once you guys showed up, then the time it flew by because we were just yakking away and strategy, what's going to happen, in terms of when and if Dave's going to show up. And yeah, that was great.
I appreciate that, Rob. I didn't know you were there at 1 o'clock. I showed up at about 2 o'clock.
Yeah, the memo, I guess I was on a different time zone, but yeah. As I said, I live there, so it's like a 20-minute drive. I had some like stuff to do, but it's like I'm just at home going, I just got to get down there because it's on. What if I miss it because I'm trying to avoid the cold weather and everything? So I'm like, heck, I'll just go, be there. So I'm there and then touch base with you guys to let you know I'm there. So yeah, it was all good.
Yeah, I mean, it was a no-brainer to do whether or not we thought there was a significant probability that we would meet Dave and Paul, you have to put the work in because you don't want to miss it for a lack of just putting in the work and the time. So that's the mentality. So if I missed it, it was not going to be because I was lazy. I didn't want that to be the story.
Yeah, no, that makes that makes a lot of sense. I was in that boat as well. But what I do know is when we all got together, the camaraderie was fantastic. Like meeting you both in the flesh for the first time, and I mean, you know, my energy level was through the roof. It was just almost like it was nervous energy. Like it was just this palpable feeling that I could actually physically feel, just with the excitement and whatnot. And you guys let me basically be me. You asked a bunch of questions and we got to know each other a little bit. And I told some of the things that I would say to anybody who's interested, but nobody typically is in my life. The stuff I try to talk to my wife about, and she's just like, yeah, okay, that's nice, you know, but with you guys, it was like hanging off every word and talking about some of the things that I don't even necessarily talk about on the show sometimes. And that was a pleasure for me. It's always fun to find a brother from another mother. And I've certainly found a lot of those since we have started, this adventure that is the Letterman Podcast. You two, chief among them. Both of you have been on the show before. Len, you were on the show talking about some of the times that the encounters that you've had with Dave. You're wearing one of them right now, and that is an interesting one. The sweatshirt you are wearing. Talk about the sweatshirt you're wearing right now.
Right. So this was purchased at the NBC store in 1984. I saw Dave in May 1984. I was in New York actually for the summer studying. And June 1984, the NBC store, that's when they first started selling the Dave merch. And so I never wore this because I didn't want to wash it, because I didn't want to crack the lettering. And I'm really worried right now that I'm sweating. And I'm going to have to wash this because I don't want to crack the lettering. This is like mint condition 1984 caliber.
It's a 40-year-old sweatshirt that you never wore.
42-year-old sweatshirt.
Yeah.
That I never wore, and I didn't think I would ever wear it. I do that. I'm a collector, so I have a lot of stuff that I never wore, I never opened, just boxes of old candy and whatnot. But of course, this was the time to do that. And we'll talk later about how Dave actually noticed it, and that was just, oh wow. My life, you made my life.
And Rob, you were on the show and talked about a plethora of things, because it's not like you've just seen Dave once, you've seen him a bunch of times, but the real focus when you were on our show was your experience at the final late show with David Letterman and all of the little nuances that were there, that the details. Your experience was one that a lot of people learned a bunch of things about that they didn't know about that last show. I highly recommend people go back and watch the episode with Rob if you want to learn about some of those details. You know, like thing like Jay Thomas being out there and some of the other things that how you got into the section that you did, all of that kind of stuff. We talked about that on the show. It's funny how both of the things we talked about when you guys were on the show came into play when we actually met Dave, which I thought was really, really interesting. Both of them did. And you know, we can talk about that right now. I mean, I'll set the stage real quick. We're outside the stage door. We're getting to know each other. We're talking back and forth. What was the first sign? The first sign of that something fun to come was happening?
You mean the car just pulling up, or?
I thought it was Walter. The moment we saw Walter Kim.
Oh, Walter, yeah. Oh, yeah. Talk about Walter.
You know, Walter walked up and he tolerated me giving him a big hug, and I appreciated that. We had some handshake moments and stuff. One of you congratulated him on the movie, I think.
That was me, yeah.
Yeah, Banana Split, not in theaters, but now I think limited. What was the line? You know, it's in selected cities. We can only pray to God that your city is one of the selected ones, something like that.
Right.
And immediately congratulated him on that. That was really, really cool. Yeah, seeing Walter Kim, I thought as soon as that happened, I'm like, oh, some momentum's about to come.
Yeah, for sure. Because I don't think. Yeah, Walter going in first. I didn't think Dave was already in there. I think, you want to get everybody in place before the talent shows up. So
yep.
the fact Walter came in, okay. then they're immediately thinking there's some visuals or something going to be inherent in the show. So
Right.
yeah, that gave us all kind of like, okay, there's some juice there. Okay, things are rolling. So maybe it won't be too long until some magic happens.
Absolutely. I thought the same thing. And the thing that I thought was really interesting is, hey, I got to get in there for rehearsal. And one of you also made the comment, well, okay, if he's just gonna have a conversation with Zach, like how much rehearsing do you need to have, you know? And turns out it was there was a lot more to the show than just that. And yeah, I could see why they'd want to block it out and make sure that they've got all their stuff in a group and can make that happen. So Walter comes in, and then it was funny because the place has two entrances. It's got the entrance up top, above on what street is that? I know Cambie's the bottom one. Is it Hamilton? No.
Yeah.
Anyway, oh,
yeah.
maybe it is Hamilton actually. Yeah, it's so there's the people entrance, and then down below there's the stage door. And so we thought, oh hey, maybe we should just walk around. There's 5 of us by this point, or 4 of us really. Paul hadn't really even revealed himself. He was the smart guy that was sitting in the car waiting to see if something was going to happen. You guys and James was there and said, hey, they're setting up a tent up above. Do you want to go check and see what is going on? And so I was like, yeah, okay. And so I went around to go and see what the tent was. And you guys take it from there, because you were there. I wasn't.
Yeah, so thank goodness you had your phone at the ready, because yeah, James saved saved your hide from what it was a real missed opportunity. But so we were basically chatting away, and the way, the stage door is here, and then there's some cars set up, and then the street, and they've kind of, the security guys were saying, hey guys, we need to keep the path clear for the cars to come in and out. So from having seen shows in the past, I know, okay, that's usually where they zip in, and at the end of the show, either the entertainers talk to you or they just drive away. So we were kind of waiting there, and yeah, I guess everybody has a different. It's funny how just this thing that happened just a few days ago, just exactly how the genesis of it all started. But I know for me, I looked over, and then there was suddenly a new car that had pulled up, and I saw the top. Yeah, no, I saw the
Dave's guy?
What's that?
Was it Dave's guy?
Yeah, it was somebody, because then I looked, then I could see the beard in the back seat. Like, that's Dave. And it's that surreal moment when you go, oh, and everything you've been like hoping would happen and stuff, and you're completely unprepared, and you don't know where anything is. I was thinking about, where's Mike? Because Mike just hightailed it to go the other place and stuff. So yeah, you could tell a couple of days people come out, and right away one of them, he's like, hey guys, Dave's late for rehearsal, come see you after the show. So for me, I'm thinking, no, this is the chance. He's here right now.
Yeah.
Anything could happen. He might have a crappy show in his mind, and he just wants to get hightail it out of town. He might be chilling backstage with Zach and whoever else, celebrity friends happen to come to the show and do that. So yeah, I don't know if you want me to take the lead here, because I kind of did the first part.
Well, it was you. I just, before you do, I was just like, the wherewithal that you had. You didn't, were you starstruck?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, we've seen.
It didn't seem like you were, is all I'm saying. You had your wits about you.
No, in hindsight, I feel I kind of blew it. You guys had a bit more time to compose yourself, because my interaction was a bit more just kind of like, I was thinking of just like, no, we just got to get this happen. So I see Dave get out of the car, and again, he's coming towards us, and we've already been told, no, don't do anything. But I'm like, I've sit there. I made like a collage of pictures from of me and my wife, and picture of the ticket that from the last show, and then this great shot from when Dave did his pre-show question and answer with the audience. So I did like a screenshot of Dave, and you can see. Do
you have it with you right now?
I do. Yeah, I flip that sucker up. Yeah.
Yeah.
See
Look at that.
Yeah, so that's
okay.
In front of the marquee. There's the thing. You can see how this ends, because there's a signature on it. And then Dave and Christine and myself. So yeah, so I had this in my hand. I have a Sharpie going. This is the shot, So he starts walking, and I just blurt out, "Hey, Dave, I was at your last show." And
by the way, just so you know, I think that was the absolute perfect thing that you could have said. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, but I should have said welcome to Vancouver or something. Like
Oh,
I kind of feel like, I just jumped right into it, but you know, th- thank goodness for Lenny taking a video, because we've been able to watch this and really verify what happened. We know exactly that we weren't dreaming. So I say, hey Dave, I was at your last show, and Dave goes, what? This is my last show? And I'm like, no, no. So no, I was at your last show, and I think he was a bit intrigued, and I had some.
absolutely.
I had something I was holding it, and he just walked right up to me. I mean, you could tell his people were probably like kind of saying, come on, doors that way. We're late already. No hesitation. He just ambled right up, and he looked at it. And I said, yeah, I was at your last show, or something to that effect. And he said, wow, what a night that was, or something. And I'm like,
Mhm.
that, yeah, it was. And I've been thinking about that night many times since. And I remember when he did the show, I think it's in that pre Q&A, and you hear him in the audio say, this might be the most important show of my life, and
Yeah.
stuff. And so, he's probably looking at this going, who are these two people standing in front of my marquee? It's barely even a picture of me. But, he went and signed it, and he didn't do his thing like right on top of his little face there.
Yep.
Right there on the ticket is perfect. It was kind of a brighter area on that thing. And he signed it, and I was like, whew, I'm done. Check, please. I'm out of here. So
Yep.
I'll let you take it, Lenny.
Rob, I can relate to you there. I did like a post game analysis after, and I said, okay, I could have done it differently too, because I actually didn't prepare what I was going to say, and I don't know why. I think I'm a pretty prepared, organized person. I don't know why. I had no idea what I was going to say. Maybe I'm confident in my ability to be extemporaneous, but now I realize, you got to prepare, because it's a pressure cooker. They're in a rush. You're maybe, starstruck. So you got to prepare. Now, I did say, Dave, I saw you in 1984.
Mhm.
Dave said, he kind of looked askance, and he said, oh, yeah, that was a good year.
Which was perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Polite. I think this is, he is Johnny on the spot. And I think he was actually being sincere and specific and reflecting that, yes, that's a year that he really appreciated in a certain respect. And I wish I'd followed up, I'd done that. So my lesson learned from this, because I think this is going to happen again, is be prepared and be in the moment. But you can't be too hard on yourself, because it was a pressure cooker. I mean, Dave is my lifetime entertainment icon. So, I'm not maybe I'm not completely zen in that moment.
Okay, well, Lenny, you created what I thought was the best interaction out of all of us, because it completely encapsulated Dave right there. Because you said, and again, thanks to your video, you said, Dave, I saw you in 1984. He goes, wow, what a year. Like, that's like, you could have said, Dave, I saw you in 1697. He'd be like, wow, what a year.
Yep.
Which was, I just cracked up right there. And then you said, Randy Newman was the guest. And he goes, Randy Newman. like, what am I supposed to do with that information?
I got nothing.
I got nothing for you.
I
just roared. I thought that was fantastic.
I'm embarrassed you brought that up, but I deserve it.
No. That was Dave. That's the Dave that we were looking for.
Yes.
Right.
What's Dave going to say? Because he looked askance too, and I look back at the video, and it's almost like Randy Newman. Like there was something there. He didn't say, "Oh, yeah, Randy Newman is looking at him." There. I felt there was something there. There's something about Randy Newman. But again, I'm all about asking questions, not just talking at someone. So lesson learned. I wish instead of saying Randy Newman was on. Okay, thanks for letting me know who sang a song 42 years ago. I wish I'd asked a question, but it's okay. You that's how you refine your craft. You do it, and next time it's going to be state of the art.
Yeah. I might start the show here by putting in the video that we shot after, after Dave left, because I mean, like, we were all walking on air. Like, there was nothing negative about this experience whatsoever. But when you're in the experience and shortly after, everything gets kind of short circuiting a little bit, and the emotions are kind of all over the place, and you're trying to gather and assemble what happened. And I love that you brought up the video a couple of times, Rob, because I mean, my memory of things was one way, and then even an hour after the show, when I started going through some of the videos that we captured, and I mean, that was none of that was planned. That was just like all 5 of us were just like, okay, we got to make sure that we capture this from every angle. And seeing it is like, oh, okay. It shows how fallible the mind is, though, because a couple hours later, when I watched the video, I was like, oh yeah, I completely forgot that part happened, that little detail. And it's so nice living in the time and place that we do now, having the technology that we have. Maybe not so much for Zach Galifianakis, but the fact that we have this technology that we do, that we're able to assemble these things and keep that memory as intact as possible. But yeah, like it was when he was there, and it's funny, I might have been Madeline Smithberg. There's been actually a few people who I've talked to who talk about how Dave has this charisma, this crazy magnetism, like there's an energy there. And despite the fact that he was kind of in a mellow place, he wasn't performing or anything, I felt it. Like it was like, there's a picture that one of you guys took where I'm just kind of standing beside him and I'm just kind of looking at him, and it's not just seeing this guy that I've appreciated for so long and has meant so much to me in the content that he has made, but it was also, there was a palpable feeling, an actual energy that I felt. I don't know if you guys felt that as well. I certainly did.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's one of those things, we know that, and we'll get to your interaction, Mike, and the other folks, but it's like, as soon as Dave walked through the door, he forgot about us.
Oh, sure.
Look at us. We hung on everything that happened because, we're seeing it from that other angle.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just absolutely. I mean, he kind of came, and the way he kind of stood, he's like, okay, there's some guys here. And again, we'll get to, like, it was just 5 of us, 4, and then 1 just suddenly appeared. 5.
And thank God you showed up, Paul, by the way.
Oh, yeah, Paul got some great picks, and but it just I think he read the room too for us. Like, he didn't give his people a look to say, get me out of here, like really pull me, even though they were kind of tugging at his jacket and stuff and everything. But yeah, it was like, he kind of just said, okay, I got time to just kind of have this with everybody and stuff. And that was super cool.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's and then the thing that I think caused what you're talking about, and I mean, Dave, he's a very, very, very smart, astute person, and reading the room, like you say, he saw that we were all representing. James had his pants, the pants jacket on from '99, that just big pants on the front of it, and Dave commented on it. He's like, hey, pants, it was funny to that. And poor James, James, it was so funny. He didn't even know really the term starstruck, but he had never been starstruck in his life. Yeah. James was able to say almost nothing. He was so grateful. He told me to tell you both hi, that he appreciates you both very much, and he said it was just an absolute privilege to be a part of our group and to be a part of that, and he's never ever 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 going to forget it, or the feelings and the feeling of being starstruck. He also said, can I please take a selfie?
And yes, Lenny, you can, damn it. Yeah.
And yes, but when Dave showed up, it's not like we were a bunch of graphers. We weren't a bunch of guys who were just trying to get a signature of a very elusive celebrity so we could sell it on the eBay. That clearly, hey, you guys ever going to sell any of your Dave stuff?
Yeah, who wants a picture of me and my wife? That's just it. It wasn't headshots, just because I've been to those shows. I've been to shows. This guy has a stack of headshots. He'll get a signature, wait for a couple of them, and then he'll zip around again, get another one signed. He's throwing it up on eBay, and the talent knows that as well. So, but yeah, I want to jump on something too. And we talked about this after. Dave has a history of nutty fans. I mean, that is part of his mystique and everything, and we know it was really kind of disturbing and everything. So, if anybody has an excuse to say, screw this, I'm going right and just doing my show and not interacting with my fans, and again, fan short for fanatic, he's the one. And he ambled up to us, and I think he probably would have given us a couple more minutes too, had he not been, at a time crunch. Like he was kind of, okay, I'm going to do my bit for these people and stuff, and we were eating it up anyway. So yeah, it was great.
I want to speak to that, Rob. I agree with you completely. And when I look back at the video, when I just even think about my recollection of our interaction with Dave, when you look at his body language, he clasps his hands in front of him,
Yes.
setting himself in front of us. His body language was, I'm grateful for you. I've read the room. That guy's got a cue card. That guy's got this incredible collage. You're wearing Letterman gear. Back decades, he read the room. These are my people. These are my people. These aren't hucksters who want to make a quick buck on my name. These are my people. They made me. And so his whole body language, his whole behavior was, I'm here for you, and I'm going to plant myself, and I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to sign, and I'm going to show gratitude. As you have said, Mike, I think it was in one of your podcasts, you talked about your two bullets being, I think, kindness and gratitude. Kindness and gratitude. And that's what Dave showed, kindness and gratitude. And that's actually what blew me away about this guy. This guy is kind and he's grateful. So he's not just a great entertainer. This is a good person. He blew me away in that respect.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I coming around the corner. So for me, I had gone up the cement stairs and seen the tent area and all that sort of stuff. And it was funny. I had an opportunity to potentially get a little errand done while I was up there because kitty corner to where we were, there was a store that I thought, okay, I could grab something. But then I just thought, you know what? I think I better just go back. So I was gone maybe a total of 5 minutes, maybe, when I had left you guys to go up. So James sends me a message that says, get here now. But I was already I was coming around the corner when he sent me that message. And it was crazy because when I came around the corner, the first person I saw was Mary Barkley. Now, I've gone on record before, I think, a few times anyway, saying I adore two things. I adore Mary Barkley. I think she is. I go all the way back to when we started seeing her in little appearances on Late Show. If you want to see a really neat appearance with her, it's Walter Kim did on the very last Late Show with David Letterman, a montage talking about a day in the life of Late Show, and Mary's in there having an interaction with Dave, and she's quirky and fun. And then if you watch the Barbara Gaines show, many times, as far as I'm concerned, she's the best part of the Barbara Gaines show. Sometimes she can throw out just one highlight or one comment or one word that just, okay. So I'm going on record to say I adore Mary Barkley. Number two is I'm terrified of Mary, and I am. And so I saw her. I don't know if she saw me or not. I would like to think. Well, I don't even know what to think, but I don't know if she saw me or not. And then she went in, and then I saw Dave's guy, and I saw Dave interacting with you guys. And the first thing I thought was, he doesn't have to do this. He could have easily gone into that. Like it would have been so easy for him to ignore and get there. And that was the first thing that came to my mind, is that it was like, no, he's stopping. This is amazing. He's stopping. And then, like you said, I had a cue card with me, and I've got the cue card here, and we can talk about that. But the first thing I just thought is that no, he's given us some of his time, which I was really, really excited for, because we were going under the impression that everybody was late based on when we saw Walter. We thought, because they came it was like 20 minutes after Walter, and Walter's like, I got to get in there, like. So anyway, that was the first thing I saw. And then Paul had his moment, right? At that point.
Yeah, because James kind of, James was starstruck, kind of thing, gave him a little thank you. like I gave him a little bow, kind of, that was lovely, But yeah, you could tell it just, he couldn't say anything. And, but like you say, Dave just went, pants, nice,
Mm-hmm.
And then, Paul said, I've been a fan or something for many years, and I just want to take a picture or something, or
37 years.
Right.
37 years. Yeah, that's right.
I've been a fan for 37 years, and Dave, not skipping a beat. Yeah. Where did that get you? and that's what we wanted. Again, he's just knocking these ones out, together.
I think we all got a line. I think we all got a wisecrack from him. Which, I mean, again, if you're gonna meet Dave, and we know his disposition, it's not like we're walking into this thinking, oh man, I hope he's the friendliest guy in the entire world that's gonna give us 20 minutes each and do all this. No, we all kind of knew the drill. We all knew this is a low percentage kind of an adventure, but one worth taking anyway. But yet, all of us got a bit of a wisecrack from him, and I thought that was amazing.
Well, just
but
because Don Rickles. That's if you meet Don Rickles, you want him to call you a hockey puck. You want him to indulge you. And with Dave, it was you wanted just that wry, sarcastic thing, which makes me think my interaction when I said, I was at your last show, and he said, "Wow, what a night." He said that, which you could say, well, that's actually quite a lovely thing. But then Lenny says, "I saw you in '84. Wow, what a year." I'm like, okay. Now I take my comment. It's even better. It's like either Dave, I think he obviously does think, remembers that evening. But it's great. You can read it both ways, which is just great.
Totally. And so I'm seeing this, and I don't know how it was for you guys, but for me, it kind of went in slow motion. It kind of like I got things a little bit fuzzy, even though I could see Mary. And then I saw Dave interacting with you guys, and so I went behind Dave's guy, and I know Dave's guy a little bit, and so I went behind him a little, and I just kind of did a little, put my hand on his arm, and immediately realized this guy's in work mode right now, and it's not a time to say, "Hey man, how you doing?" Yeah, no, I had already resigned myself. People have asked me this. A lot of people have asked me this since the pictures started coming out. And so I'm just going to address it right here. I didn't address it to anybody who's asked me. People are like, "Oh, did he know who you were? Are you going to like, did you?" I've been at this center point of what I'm going to do when, there's an interaction there. I'm not saying who I am unless somebody else does, or unless he recognizes it, because there's no sense in, "Hey man, I hosted a podcast." I know he's aware of who I am. And that's cool. But I would never, ever in a situation like that, try and bridge that gap. Like I had a little care package for him too, right? It was there just in case. The picture of, Canadian hero Bruno Gerussi. I had some Canadian chocolate bars. By the way, if there's a Canadian chocolate bar that you want your American friend, or a candy of some sort that's Canadian that you want an American to have, do you have any suggestions that you would give?
Well, Coffee Crisp.
That was one of them. Yep. Coffee Crisp was in there. Any others?
Ketchup chips? No.
Now, with ketchup, I had ketchup Cheetos. Yes, I had ketchup Cheetos in there. I wish the ketchup Doritos were around. And Americans are like, ketchup Doritos? Yeah, Canadian only, just like the ketchup Cheetos. That was also in the care package. Anything else? Any other?
Oh.
Smarties. I have Smarties in there. And I don't know if you want to say Smarties are better than M&Ms or not, but I know they give them a run for the money. I had a stamp book of beloved Canadian actor Donald Sutherland, real Canadian postage with and a couple other things as well. But there's no way. I know that I'm not going to even attempt to try and bridge that gap if the situation doesn't present itself. Did not do that. So I was there and had the cue card. Now, this cue card's got a lot of history. So I love this cue card. Gabe Abelson, who's coming back on the show, by the way. Gabe Abelson, who was the head monologue writer for a few years when Bill Sheft was off. He gave me this cue card, and he had signed it for me and given me a very, very nice note. I appreciate Gabe. Gabe, you're awesome. I appreciate you very, very, very much. But, and I mean, it's here's another hint. If you're going to hand somebody a pen to sign something for you, if it's a brand new pen, that's great. Just pull the cap off and test it out a little bit first. Because I did get this is a crappy pen, or this pen doesn't work, or something like that. But I got Dave to sign the cue card. The reason I chose this cue card was because my wife and I are Survivor fans. And I believe this might have been from the very first season of Survivor. And so after the finale of Survivor, Dave comes out. "Welcome, my name is Dave. CBS's only true Survivor. Survivor is over. Now 40 million Americans can go back into the habit of not watching CBS." I don't know, kind of prophetic of a card. When I chose it, I had no idea there'd be that kind of gravity. But Dave saw it. He let me take a selfie with him first, which thank God it turned out. As my wife will attest, I am terrible at taking selfies. She does not like my selfies at all. But that one there turned out. And then I said, "Hey, Dave, would you mind signing this cue card?" And he's like, "Sure, whatever." And I was, and the only chance I really took was saying, I'd love you to perform the joke. It's a pretty good joke. Hoping that he would look at the CBS reference and whatnot. But again, this is where he's on the autopilot, right? I don't think he necessarily even took in what the joke was, all of that stuff. He said, if I was any good at telling jokes, I would still have a show. That's what that was mine. That was my wisecrack that I got. Yeah. In the meantime, I was wearing a Barbara Gaines shirt, and all credit, like, I really appreciate Dave's guy. I really, really, really do. And I just want to say, hey, man, appreciate you very, very, very much. One of the things that he did was he pointed at my Barbara Gaines show shirt to see if Dave would look up or notice or whatever. But clearly Dave was ready to, to get in there and to do some stuff. And we'll talk about that in a second here. But that being said, after that, we were all able to say, thanks, Dave. Appreciate you. Len, you threw out a little comment.
What are you guys doing to me?
Oh, Lenny.
No, we got to talk about it. No, because like, it's okay. It's okay. Because this is the stuff that happens sometimes when we meet our people that we would consider a hero or an influencer or whatever. On his way into the room, on his way into the building.
Take it away, Lenny.
That's right.
Do you guys talk before? How can we finish this guy off?
No. No, because you got the best interaction. You got the one after the show, and we're going to get to that. So don't you worry about that.
And that's more shame, but we'll talk about that additional shame. So yeah, I was a bit too much in the mode of saying stuff today. Say stuff. Tell them what, my connections with them, so to speak. So as he was departing, I blurted out, Dave, you remember the letter? Thanks for reading my letter. And then I read my letter out, which was 2009. Hey, yo, Dave, when the hell do we get to meet the CBS mailbag mailman? Of course, Dave didn't break stride. He didn't look back. And then Mike clarified for me after, yeah, Len, I don't know that Dave remembers verbatim all 849,000 letters that he read. So, but anyway.
No, what I thought was so cute about it? It was cute. It was adorable because
thank you.
I've met, that's right. Of course you are, buddy. I've met a bunch of my favorite people that I kind of admire, whether they're in music or athletes or whatever. And somebody gave me advice really, really, really early on. And we've talked about it here is you ask questions. And then the conversation begins. If the question is answered and there's some curiosity, now you got some play to kind of maybe go into some things. But in that moment, I mean, my gosh, as far as I'm concerned, none of us made fools out of ourselves. Like, we were excited. There's no question. Again, you watch the video of us afterwards, we're all giddy as 12-year-old boys. Like, I mean, it was just such a beautiful experience that way. But Dave goes in and then there we are. And we're living in this moment with this energy, and it's kind of like what the hell just happened? That's how I felt anyway. I like once he went in there and we knew, okay, we're now kind of shell shocked here, and it's time to regroup a little bit. I mean, I don't know. That energy was absolutely astounding.
Wasn't it great? Like, you think just like compared to like 30 years ago, and you'd have taken the picture. I got to get this developed. I won't know for 2 weeks if my picture came out. All of us right away. And we had said before, let's all take pictures of everybody, because we can just airdrop it, WhatsApp it, share it as much as we want. So all of us checked. Did our selfies come out? Holy smokes, got a picture with Dave, and that was fantastic. And then what, Lenny, you got a video? Great. Oh, Paul, you got these things, and we're just sharing it. And that was just fantastic.
Yeah, like one of you guys, I don't even know who it was. It might have been James. One of you guys took a picture. It might have been Paul too. I don't know. One of you guys took a picture though, and it got Dave's guy. I'm not going to post this one. This one is one that's more I love personally. If it comes out, it comes out. No big deal. But I personally, it's just like, it's, for me, it's a delightful picture, and it's a picture of Dave's guy pointing at my shirt, and it's almost like he's holding court, and he's like, Oh, it's the funniest picture. I howled when I first saw it, but I didn't see it right away. I saw it way after and it was cool. These little moments of like as we would see what each other had of each other of us. That was a beautiful, beautiful experience right there, communal. Len.
So Dave's guy
Mm-hmm.
was pointing at your Barbara Gaines show shirt and looking right at Dave. So yeah, he was trying to draw Dave's attention. And you're saying shirt. And you're saying to the
He
shirt.
he let me know that's exactly what it was.
Okay.
Yeah. 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 So that's what that's what it was. And that was an opportunity to potentially start the dialogue. But again, we all know why they were late. And so I want to move to that because as we're sitting there going through our stuff, we're like, oh man, we're like in this silly state. Another vehicle shows up. And that other vehicle was clearly in our minds, who was it going to be? Zach Galifianakis, right? It's like, okay, well, the rehearsal, all that sort of stuff. I guess, somebody showing up or whatever. One Zach, what is it?
Wow.
How excited were you guys when you realized that Paul Shaffer was going to be part of the show as well?
In hindsight, it just makes perfect sense. Like, very proud Canadian. And if Dave's coming back to Canada, to perform, Paul's got to be there.
Yeah.
And again, this is where, check the video because Paul had kind of noticed, and he was the only one who got video. We were all kind of on cloud nine talking about our stuff. But Paul quickly got up. He looked at all of it, goes, I'll come right back out. Don't worry, I'll come back out.
Yep.
And
he did.
And he did. And true to his word, he gave us time. And two of our Wolfpack had left. So it was just the three of us. And
Three-man Wolfpack.
Three-man Wolfpack.
And again, Lenny, I mean, I give you credit, man. You went for the gold right there. Tell us what happened.
Yes.
By the way, I do have video of that, and I thought I shared that with you, but I have video of the whole Paul Shaffer interaction. So if I didn't get that to you guys, let me know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna get a drive going so we can all just put all of our stuff into, and we can then just have. But yes, thank you for that. But anyway, yeah, you did. You had a hell of a thing to get Paul to stop and talk about.
Well, yeah. So there, I guess I don't know if I know I wasn't prepared, but I don't know. It came to mind. So there was a character, and Don Giller confirmed it for us afterwards.
I'm gonna get it right here. Yeah.
So we all know Mr. Curious. There was a Mr. Curious in the early days of late night. They would go out on the street. Hey, what's in your bag? Iconic, the stuff of legend. I've been telling people since then for 42 years that there was a Mr. Humidity. And people look at me like, oh, yeah, this guy, I don't think he has much time left. I don't think he has any of his marble, the Mr. Humidity. Oh, the poor guy. Like people look at me like I'm nuts. I'm Mr. Humidity. I've always sworn there was a Mr. Humidity, and I had in my brain the last line of a song that Paul Shaffer composed for the Mr. Humidity character. So as Paul was about to depart our interaction, I say, Paul, can I ask you a question? Paul says, sure. And he turns around 180. He doesn't look like he's harried or hurried, right? Although he really is like on a schedule. Sure, he's so accommodating. And I ask him, Paul, do you remember? And I say, there was a Mr. Curious. Do you remember the Mr. Humidity character that you composed a song for? Paul says, maybe vaguely, but maybe he's just trying to be nice and polite. Yeah. I asked Paul, do you remember the song you composed? He says, no. And I say, do you mind if I sing you the last line of your Mr. Humidity composition? He says, sure. He wants to hear it. I can do a rendition now if
Please do. The statute of copyright is far past.
All right. The statute of
I don't know what that is.
Mr. Humidity statute of limitations just
that's right.
Here we go. So this is what I sing to Paul. All right, Paul, here we go. Mr. Humidity, that's you. Yeah. Paul doubles over in laughter.
You did.
And he says, he's so nice. He says, I think he said, you did that beautifully. I wish we had you over for Yom Kippur.
All right, just to note here, we confirmed once Paul left, we did confirm it with Don, and thank you to Don Giller for everything he does. I mean, my gosh, any opportunity we have to thank Don Giller, again, go to the Don Giller channel, YouTube channel. The Letterman catalog is extensive and very well curated and very well put together. Every single video he's done. July 31st, 1985, Paul's lyrics. I don't recall exactly how we knew you were the one, but somehow you stood out beneath that shining sun or summer sun. Or could it be the way that you say no sweat and yet you do? Miss Humidity, that's you. The person chosen was Claire Henderson. She returned to the show when a new Mr. Humidity was chosen on June 24th, 1987, a Mr. Angel Jimenez. Paul then sang the tune for him. There we go.
Wow.
And you've had that locked away in your head for all those years. Why did that make an impression? I'll never know, but it did. And it was fantastic that it came out the way that it did. I mean, my interaction with him, I was grateful that he recognized me. Like, I've met Paul a few times. And grateful that I'm like, hey man, it's the Letterman Podcast. Oh yeah. And, you know, how you doing? And that was very gratifying. I enjoyed that a lot. Now let's talk a little bit about. Okay. Sorry, Rob. What was your interaction with Paul? And I mean, like, again, we're on this cloud nine kind of a thing, you know, thinking, okay, we've just had this experience with Dave, and then Paul shows up, and we have another experience at the same time. It was almost kind of like a 1-2 punch of euphoria. I don't know if that's an apt description or not, but that's certainly how it felt for me.
That's one where I gotta check the video. Like I was so thrilled with Lenny's bit. I think I was just laughing throughout the whole thing, and it was just perfect. So I might have just said thank you, Paul. You know, shook his hand, and you know, that was it.
And I think I took the picture of you two. I believe that was
grateful. Great background, and yeah, because like you, I hate doing selfies, so that's like, it's a much better shot. But yeah.
Well, and thank goodness, because I had a video going, and it was funny because he was like, "Hey, what's the back of your phone?" He was asking about my phone case, which is fun. I was shooting a video, and I was taking stills of you at the same time, hoping that they would turn out. And so then it flips, and then it flips back. So I'll make sure you guys get that video too. But yeah, it was so great. And then he goes, and we're all like, "What's Paul doing here tonight?" And it did make sense about the Canadian thing. Now, I've heard, I don't know if it's gospel or not. I heard the original guest scheduled for February 18th wasn't Zach. It was going to be, they had thought about the idea of having Marty Short. And that makes a lot of sense. You know, Marty and Paul having worked together, the history that Marty has with the show, and then of course the Canadian factor. But that's actually happening now at the Netflix is a Joke Festival in early May in Los Angeles. So, were you going to say something?
Got a ticket.
Well,
you got a ticket already. You're going. Attaboy.
That was a joke during the show, right?
They mentioned it during the show, which is why I'm throwing it out here now. That's something that I had heard. I don't know if it's true. I haven't confirmed it, but they did mention it during the show, which I thought was very, very interesting.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, who knows? I know that, well, we haven't even got to Zach's part of the show.
No, we're getting there.
Yeah, but well, what happened? Are you going to talk about who you called after our interaction with Paul?
You guys go for it if you want.
No, Mike, please take it away.
No. Yeah, hey, like I just wanted to keep the feeling going, and so I don't know how Rupert's name came up, but it was just like, you know what? I know that Rupert just made it to Florida to go hang out with his gal pal Irene, and I thought, hey, let's FaceTime Rupert and see if he answers. And lo and behold, we got a chance to have a really nice little talk with Rupert G.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Mike. That was beautiful. I love Rupert so much too.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that was absolutely lovely. And so again, that euphoria again, and I like how you said that earlier, Rob. It was like, you know what, at that point, the day could have ended. Like, the day could have ended at that point, and all of us, I think, would have been like, we were giddy. It was such a beautiful, beautiful moment. But then we get to go see a show that. All right, guys. We all just met David Letterman.
Show your autograph.
We're all on cloud nine. They're all on cloud nine, and it was fast, which we thought it would be. There might be something later. You never know, because he was going in and rehearsal and all that, right? But pretty crazy. Pretty awesome.
Surreal.
I am grateful to have experienced this with you guys. That was awesome. And the cool thing about this is there's no autograph hounds out here. Like, we all got shit signed, but there wasn't even a thing where it's like, yeah, exactly, where it's, oh, this is going to go up on eBay or something like that. And
We're keeping this.
exactly. But when those muckers are in a section like this, they ruin it for everybody because, you know, the subject, I was like, oh, it's just a bunch of people who want to sell stuff. But we're all representing, and I don't know, man. We're not even done. We're not even done yet. There might be more. The show's not. We don't even know. Anyway, yeah. Shout out to our boy Jason Zinneman, guest on the show.
This is a masterpiece.
This is a very, very good book. That, and so too is Last Days of Letterman by Scott Ryan, who we will be seeing tomorrow down at the Twin Peaks Festival that's happening down. Yeah, Scott Ryan's literally on a plane right now, flying over here. So, okay, well, let's pick out a Johnny Carson line. More to come? More to come. Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson. Bam basketball. More to come.
I did not know that.
It's a good day. It's a good day, boys. Woo! Nice Vancouver day. We all just met David Letterman.
Let the fun end.
They don't talk to me.
Yeah.
I don't talk to them. Bang, zoom.
All right.